Okay, welcome to our introductory video to the MobiShop prototype system. The purpose really of this video is to give you a guided kind of tour, I suppose, of the prototype itself, to outline its main functionality in terms of what we've included in the prototype system, and just to have a quick look behind the scenes at the administrative panel for the prototype itself, and also a quick look at the site being rendered in an iPad emulator. So basically the first page that the prospective user will be brought to is what we're looking at right here in IE. We've got our MobiShop logo at the very top along with their tagline, a couple of hidden links, or less obvious links should I say, about the prototype itself, a contact us page, and the page which is going to hold our advertisement prototype TV video. Okay, so upon further exploration of the main page, or the main home page, we can see the top right hand corner two links where a user can register for the site and also log in. And we've opened the functionality of these two links, so it's actually possible if we click to register with the site itself, where the system will ask for a username, a full name, an email and password, etc. Just in terms of the registration page, we left the captions here for the text fields rather large, just to make sure that they scale okay in a mobile browser, I suppose, and also I guess for usability purposes as well. So going back one page, back again to our home page, the user is basically greeted with small bit of prose text just outlining what the site itself does. The user then can enter email address here, and then of course choose a city. For the prototype system we've only included Galway City and Galway County for consideration, so once a user signs up, he or she can then continue to the main website. Underneath was a function that really we didn't I suppose incorporate fully into the site, was the fact that these three boxes here, we didn't get around to coding up the system, allowing us to have thumbnail representations of the adverts there, but that's definitely going to be a step for the fully functioning site after the prototype stages. So once a user enters their email address and choose the city and chooses continue, he or she will then be brought to the main MobiShop interface showing the latest deal of the day. So very similar layout. We want to keep the navigation system very I suppose standard throughout all of our pages, as not to confuse users in terms of, we didn't want to confuse users in terms of in other words getting lost throughout the system, not knowing where to expect links. We felt that if we standardized, I suppose, reading in a lot of literature or documentation we've read up about HCI, just not to confuse users about having various different navigation systems throughout the site itself, just to keep it consistent. Underneath that, we've obviously got our caption of today's deal. Again, we chose the large kind of font face, especially for mobile users in mind. Of course, the tagline of the advert itself, in this case we've mocked up a representation of selling 4 tickets for the price of 2 in Roisin, Dublin, Galway, and a large rollover enabled purchase now button. Underneath this we can see that we've set a monetary value for the deal itself, an indication to the user about how much he or she will be saving on the deal. Very simple JavaScript countdown timer, an indication that there's been no buyer so far. Obviously, what we've done is we've disabled the full purchase fulfillment capabilities of the website, because we didn't want, I suppose, to have users perhaps stumble across the site and be led to eBay or fulfillment gateway, whatnot. Okay, to right hand side we have a fully functioning Google Maps implementation with a coded, I suppose, the coordinates of where the deal is actually happening. Of course, this is fully built in using the Google Maps API. We can choose to have an earth view, a terrain view, a satellite view, whatever the case might be. We've tested this and it works very, very well with the iPad and Android platform as well, which we were happy about. Okay, on further inspection of the page, we can see that below that we've got a share toolbar, which actually works fully. It allows prospective users to share a particular deal on Twitter or on Facebook, or indeed email the deal to a friend or a colleague. Actually, all that functionality is working also. We've added SMTP, an SMTP mail function for the email, and of course integration with Twitter and Facebook is actually fairly simple. So underneath that we have got our fine print for the deals themselves, terms and conditions, some highlights of the particular deal, information and reviews, and a discussion section as well where users could add comments, and that's really using the built-in WordPress commenting capabilities that the platform has itself. So back up to the top, what we have again is our standard navigation bar. It's exactly the same as the home page. Again, our social networking toolbar with an RSS feed button, all of which actually work, and another opportunity for a user to enter their email address here to sign up for a particular deal, or indeed to sign up for the system. We've included this functionality as well. We've installed what's called a MailChimp plugin in the background in WordPress, which if once a user actually enters their email address, it's stored not only in the WordPress database, but it's stored as well to a free third-party, I suppose, customer relations or consumer relations or mailing list system, which is absolutely free, and we've actually found it quite useful. Okay. So to view some other ads, for example, we can view daily deals in this instance for Galway County. So if we hover over our drop-down menu, choose Galway County, we can see that we've included another offer here on Beal and Restaurant in UI Galway. It's another sample advert which will expire, we can see, pretty much in 1 day and 19 hours, so we can certainly extend that time out. Exactly the same layout as our previous advert, large captions here, I suppose to facilitate mobile users, a large purchase it now button. The reasoning why we chose such a large button was because we found ourselves using the iPad or even smaller devices such as the iPhone or the Android mobile phones, is that sometimes the buttons on a lot of the deal of the day websites can be very, very small and difficult to actually to press properly. Exactly the same layout at the bottom. We've got our sharing toolbar, fine print, highlights, information, reviews, and discussion section as well. Okay, so the next thing that I want to kind of look at is the about page and the contact us and the advert prototype. So basically the about the prototype page is going to bring you to a little bit about the team members, myself, Liam O'Flaherty, Michael O'Mahony, just about the project, what we how we went about designing it using WordPress, e-commerce plugins, that kind of thing. The contact us page is going to hold some contact details, and the advert prototype is documented, I suppose, in our third deliverable, but it's a YouTube video that we created ourselves, I suppose to kind of explore the idea of video or animation for the website. So basically the video itself is hosted on YouTube, contains sound and some voiceovers, etc. So you can certainly look at that at your own kind of leisure. It's 1 minute and 27 seconds. It took us quite a while to produce it, but certainly we were happy kind of with the outcome of that. Okay, so I suppose to further analyze this site, I mean, we're obviously running on Google Chrome on a desktop operating system here. Of course, the website itself is meant to be mobile friendly. What we found to be very helpful was a website called iPeak, which seems to be out of action. So in this case, iPad emulator. Sorry, it's iPadpeak.com. In any event, this is the website here. We found this really helpful because what it does, it emulates the Safari web browser, which is native to iOS. And of course, if we were to type in the URL of our site here, we can see effectively how the site will be rendered when we don't have access to an iPad. So on the odd occasion we didn't have an iPad or a mobile device with us, we would use this as, I suppose, as a guideline about how the site is actually rendered. We're quite happy with the way that it came up. Obviously it's much more difficult to video a website being displayed on an actual mobile device, but we've put through quite a few instances, installed quite a few instances of browsers on our mobile devices. Opera Mini, iCAD Mobile, Dolphin browser for Android, of course Safari Mobile, that kind of stuff on the different iOS platforms. We found that the site rendered reasonably well. For the most part, we found that maybe on some of the smaller, much smaller devices, going forward, I suppose, past the prototype level, we would maybe have to reevaluate how we designed the site. But certainly for tablets and for the larger screen mobile phones, the iPad 3G or the iPhone 3GS and the larger Android models, it was absolutely fine. Okay, so in terms of a final evaluation of the site, what we will change going forward is obviously our thumbnail graphics here would need to be displayed. The second thing that we wanted to change was possibly the background colouring. Initially we had decided to go for a blue kind of background. It just so happened that our logo looked a little bit better for the prototype purposes in red. But certainly that's just a case of changing some hexadecimal values behind the scenes in the HTML code to change that. The third thing that we wanted to change was to have a graphic here representing each one of the deals themselves, which we didn't get around to fully implementing for the prototype. And I suppose as well, the one thing we did find using these fade in, fade out CSS3 kind of transition effects here work great on some Android mobile platforms, didn't work so great on the iOS platform. So that's something we definitely need to look out for in the future going forward. But apart from that, we were quite happy, fingers crossed, with how the prototype went. We put in a significant amount of testing on different platforms to make sure it was okay, and it worked reasonably well across platform. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed our brief run through of the MobiShop prototype website. And of course there's more detail obviously in our final deliverable about how the site was created using different tools and different design platforms as well. Okay, thank you very much for your time. This is Ross Doherty, Liam O'Flaherty and Michael O'Mahony signing off.